Hey everybody, Drew Nikonovich here, and today we're going to be looking at how to load sheet film into a film holder. So I'm going to pull up a top-down view so you can see what's going on while I go through this. So I just have some sheet film here, and I pulled this out of a box and basically ruined it for the sake of demonstrations, but also to practice loading film. And this is a great way when I'm showing people I can pull this out and they can get a feel for how this works. You definitely want to be trying this out in the light before you head into the darkroom and try it for the first time. So a few things about the holder. I've already established that I'm going to be using this white side to mean unexposed, and then when I've made my exposure when I'm out shooting, I'll flip it to the other side and the black side will mean exposed. I've also already gone ahead and cleaned out these holders. But if you opened up your holder and you saw that there was a bit of dust, you absolutely want to be sure that your holders are as clean as possible before you start loading your film. Check under the flap, check all the way underneath here, and again, you can use a duster or some candor to get rid of that if it is an issue. But to get started for loading, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this almost halfway, and I'm going to do that on both sides, just to get the dark slide out of the way. But you don't want to pull it out super far, and you definitely don't want to pull it out all the way unless you're cleaning the holder, because then that's just one more thing that you're going to have to mess about with when you're actually in the darkroom. So again, I've opened these up almost halfway on both sides, and when I'm ready to start loading, I'm going to set these in front of me with the dark slides facing me and the flap facing away. So I'm going to take my bad piece of film here so that I can practice, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this flap up, and you can see the two flanges that the film needs to go underneath, and we're just going to go ahead and drop this underneath here. And you also want to make sure that it's fully past any sort of extrusion that's actually in the holder itself to ensure that it's in the right position. So if this were up on top of this, for example, this is not loaded all the way and you would get a partial exposure on the film. But once you have it down in there, one thing that's really good to get a feel for is just lightly pressing with the thumbs over these two flanges and feeling that they're both there. But once you see that those are both underneath, you can go ahead and close the dark slide. Now, a few other things to note. You have the notches on the film, and one thing that's really important when you're loading film is to make sure that the emulsion side of the film is facing out of the film holder, so that you expose the film properly. Now, the way that I find is really helpful to do that is you hold the film in your right hand, and with your right index finger, you can feel for those notches, and that basically makes sure that you're going to put the film into the dark slide the correct orientation. Another quick tip: if you're loading from a box, which in most cases you probably will be, and you know for certain that your loading room or your dark room is perfectly light tight, you can go ahead and turn the film 90 degrees inside the box. And what this allows you to do is very carefully grab one sheet of film and touch it as minimally as possible without having to kind of dig into the box and pull the film out. So now with that out of the way, we can go ahead and do this one more time. And I'm going to demonstrate what it looks like when you've only loaded the film on one side correctly. So you can see here that this flange has the film underneath it. On this side, it does not. And this is something else that you should feel for. You should actually do this on purpose when you're practicing and feel for that so you get a sense of what that feels like. And that's going to help you know that you need to very carefully pull this film back out and feed it in correctly. Once you have that nailed down, give it a few tries in the light, give it a few tries with your eyes closed, and then at that point you're good to go. And that's really all there is to it. I hope this helps, and if any of you ever have any questions, you feel free to leave a question in the comments or shoot me an email. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching.